What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and it is your weekly edition of Nuff of the Week, our Nuff of the Week for round 6 of 2026. And we're going to look. We don't really poke at the Geelong Football Club overly often. We tend to do things really bloody well. But, and it's not for the first time that I've taken issue with this, I'm going to be nuffing the club this week for its health hub, for its medical reports, for its vagueness. And when we have just come off, and it's a totally different ball game that we're talking about here, but when we have just come off a whole bunch of issues around vagueness and lack of documentation and lack of clarity, it means that when we see medical reports like this, I get more frustrated. And it is a growing sentiment within Geelong fans. We remember the issue a couple of years ago where Geelong was kind of defining things as short, medium, or long term. And the AFL kind of jumped on it. Media people were getting sick of it. We were all sick of it. And the club kind of copped a slap on the wrist, and they referred back to, I guess, normal procedures. But what we've seen in the last few months, last 12 months, has been a gradual stepping back from the club to stuff like this, which is really vague and not telling us a hell of a lot. There's useless terminology. I've seen worse than the most recent one. I can't bring up previous ones. I've seen worse from the club this season. But this is what we've got to work with right now, and I want to hone in on some of the stuff that's here. You might have seen my video about Brian Myers that I posted yesterday and about his knee. And the reporting is that last Monday he went in for scans. So he should have been a test. There's no Brian Myers on this list. Why is Brian Myers not on this list if he's a test? They didn't want, test doesn't mean you're out. Paddy Dangerfield played. Jack Henry was on the fence, didn't play. Probably could have, if we really needed him to. That's okay to list him as a test and say we're still exploring things here. We don't have a proper diagnosis yet. We can't give you a timeline yet. We'll list him as a test. That's fine. But they're too busy worrying about overshowing their hand to their opponent and not about adhering to policies, processes, and just being transparent. As Cats fans and members, we're not owed anything, really. Fans or members. But I think one of the few things that we are owed is a bit of transparency, a bit of clarity, a bit of honesty when and where possible. You don't have to say, Brian Myers knee season. If it turns out that his ACL, it becomes that. You can say Brian Myers knee test, and that's clear. We're still examining this thing. We're working out what's going on here. He may or may not play. That's fine. It's honest. It's transparent. And that news was available to you. Those details were available to you before 4:47 on Tuesday last week. Again, test is okay. Dangerfield played. Henry probably could have. Let's continue through the list, though, for some other points of frustration. For me, it's mincing our words. It's ridiculous language. And it's Toby bloody Conway. TBC. Toby bloody Conway. That is another point of frustration for me. Same with Harley Barker, who for some reason weirdly doesn't have a photo here, despite the fact he has a photo on the profiles page. What is the difference between indefinite, no timeline, and to be confirmed, no timeline? Get your language in order. Because it makes it seem like there's one different to another. Toby Conway, his foot and his knee, and basically everything else, unfortunately, when it comes to Toby Conway these days. I believe in Toby Conway. I want Toby Conway to be a success. I want him to be a success in the hoops. I'm starting to question and doubt it because he's perpetually injured. But I can't even, and not that, again, they don't owe me as a content creator or anything, but I can't really render an opinion when I see foot and knee to be confirmed. They do know more than that. To be confirmed means that they're just not sharing details. It's to be confirmed, but they've got something to work with. They can sit back and say, we think it's going to be 10 weeks. This is not definitive. It's health. It's human health. It evolves. Things change. It doesn't have to remain in concrete. But give us something to work with. Harley Barker, indefinite. What's the difference? We know it's an ACL. I prefer indefinite to be confirmed, to be honest. They don't want to put the word season next to it because He may come back and play a few games through the VFL late in the piece. So indefinite's absolutely the right language to use. But then we should be consistent with Toby Conway. Toby bloody Conway, TBC. And the last one is Tyson Stengel, who's not injured. Don't put him on the list. He's not injured. He's on an individualized program for whatever it is that, like in his real world that has gone on through the off season. And apparently he's very close. He's on an individualized program to build him up, but it's not a health and fitness thing. It's not the health hub. It doesn't, I guess if it's mental health, it technically can. But individualized program is vague and it is nothing. And if there is anyone from the AFL watching right now, I feel like you've got PR people who are watching everything these days, want to know what people are saying about your game. Geelong PR, if you're watching this, same reasoning. Please, just be a little bit more transparent. It's not, like I'm not asking for you to give me a timeline. It is rock solid. And if he's not back, if Jay Polkinghorne is not back in 5 to 7 weeks, we riot. No, that's okay. Like, it's okay. If Kyneton Matafai Forbes is not back in 7 weeks on the dot, we riot. No, it's okay. I'm all right with it. Just more of this and less. And I understand, like, when it comes to Jed Busney's concussion protocol, of course it's concussion. Put on the end concussion protocol due, like, earliest return, whatever date. Because we know that it's a 12-day layover, right? So give us the date, the earliest date that Jed Buse is available. And then if it turns out that he's still displaying symptoms, and this applies to anyone, of course, if Jed or anyone else is still displaying symptoms and they can't play the following week, just put concussion protocol. Additional, like, minimum return, new date. It's okay. You can be transparent like that. And I think it's really important for analysis of the game, for fans, for a bit of respect for your fans and for all the observers and people who consume this game. I know there's another more problematic lens of it, that there's betting and those sorts of things that get tied to this sort of stuff. And that is problematic, but it's a reality of the game that we shouldn't be focusing on. Respect the people who are on this list. Respect the people who are checking out this list for information. Be them commentators, be them fans, be them members, whatever. The respect is lacking with stuff like this. And it's been driving me mad for a while. We're starting to step back to the dangerous days of the short, medium, and long term of a couple of years ago. And I need it to stop. Geelong, put some timelines, put some dates on this thing. Stop mincing your language. TBC and indefinite are the same, like more or less the same thing. Pick one and stick to it. Be consistent. That's all we're looking for. Honesty and consistency. Transparency and consistency. That's it. That is the Nuff of the week for this week. The Geelong Football Club cops it. I don't like smacking our club around, but I'll do it when we need to. The Geelong Football Club is the Nuff of the week this week for its dodgical medical reporting. If you like this video, drop a like on it, subscribe to the Hoops Crew on YouTube, share this video with your friends and family, get the word out there about the Hoops Crew and all the awesome content that Jake, the chaps, and Ben are all producing. There's lots of awesome stuff. Go check it all out. And if you like it, go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thehoopscrew, where you can subscribe and get early access, extended and exclusive content delivered directly to your email inbox. There's lots of awesome stuff. Please subscribe and go and check it out. That's patreon.com/thehoopscrew, and all it costs you is a single cup of coffee per month to get access to all of it. Lastly, you'll find me on socials. That's Paul James Games on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. The Hoops Crew, find it the Hoops Crew. Until next time, remain Geelong strong, everyone. Geelong, fix your medical reporting. You are the Nuffs of the week. I'll see you later.